Did Epic Games just kill Save the World?
Stop! He's already dead!
You know, I can't tell you the answer to that question. But what I can do is show you the community's response to this most recent patch. So for today's video, we're going to take a look at all of the comments made by you, the Save the World community, in our last update video. If anybody from Epic is watching, I need to let you know that people are pissed about this most recent update. And it's not just the traders and scammers. A lot of people who play the game the normal way and OG players are also unhappy with the changes they made to how you share items in Save the World. But before we read the comments, there are a couple things I wanted to mention that can help you out when it comes to getting loot. One thing you can do to make it a little easier to get loot is to add the supply drop gadget. Whenever you place one down, not only will you get loot from it, but everybody in your team will also get loot from it. Another thing I would recommend doing, especially if you're an Outlander, is to destroy all of the structures directly around the objective. So that way, whoever ends up building around the objective doesn't have to go far to collect resources. Since you can no longer drop them resources, they can just run around the base and collect the materials there. Another thing I would recommend doing, and this goes for everybody in the lobby, you may want to jump on a boar and then and use them to collect resources. Because for those who don't know, the boars drop loot. Like, he just drops them. I think it's like every 30 seconds or so. A lot of times it'll be ammo, but you can also get materials like rough ore, coal, mechanical parts, herbs, shadow shards, sunbeam, bright core. I believe they'll also sometimes drop weapons, which you can recycle and get materials from those as well. So if you have 4 players, each using a boar, and they drop loot every 30 seconds or so, you're going to end up with a lot of loot around the objective by the end of the mission. So that's another way you can sort of stack up on those types of resources without having to actually farm for any of it. And again, the more people that have boars, the more resources you're going to have around the objective. You can also get resources from the target practice, especially if the target practice is close to the objective. You'll want to do that if your teammates are on the objective, because they'll also be able to get loot from this. You can also get a lot of resources from storm chests. Just make sure that you let everybody in your party know that you're about to start it, so they can get resources from it as well. Also, wildlife that has either a purple or orange glow will drop weapons and loot, not only for you, but for all of your teammates as well. And like I said earlier, if you equip the supply drop and drop it near the objective, that's also a really good way to share a lot of materials and resources with your teammates. Unfortunately, you can't share the materials you get from your recycling perk on your base with your teammates. If they walk up to it and try to collect it, they won't get anything from it. And if you're there, I think it'll just automatically go into your inventory. So you're not going to be able to share materials that way. But you can share materials by using the supply drops, using the boar, wildlife, searching containers, and destroying objects near your teammates. Doing the side missions like target practice, storm chest, shadow orbs, encampments. Those are all really good ways to get some extra resources and help prevent you from running out of them. Another way to help you get some resources and materials is by going to command, going to heroes, and then going down to expeditions. Completing these will also help you get some extra resources and materials. The only thing I wish Epic would do is give you the ability to get 5-star materials from expeditions. I think once they do that, it'll make expeditions even more useful. But as of right now, it's still really good when it comes to getting non-5-star materials like rough ore, nuts and bolts, wood, brick, traps that you can recycle. But one thing Epic needs to do is give us the chance to earn 5-star materials from expeditions. Another thing you could do, and I don't have an alt account to test this out for myself, but apparently another way you can share resources after this most recent update is to load into an SSD, give your friend permissions to build in your SSD, have them place down a lot of traps, and then they have to leave the SSD and you can destroy those traps and collect the resources that way. So when it comes to certain materials and resources, you can share them that way. You can also do the same thing with brick, wood, and metal. You can build a lot in someone else's SSDs and then leave, and then whoever's in that SSD can destroy those items and collect those resources. So yeah, those are just a few things you can do to help prevent you from running low on resources, and it can also help your teammates gather resources and materials. But regardless of that, people are still unhappy with not being able to trade or give materials and weapons to their friends. Some of the main reasons I came across was not being able to share resources on your alt account. Although technically you could load into an SSD and do it that way, you still can't share weapons with your alt accounts. Another reason people are unhappy with it is because they never got an upgraded edition, which was discontinued, so they don't have access to the founders' weapons. It used to be if they missed out on getting an upgraded edition, they could just get a friend to craft one of these founders' weapons for them. But as of right now, there's no way for them to try out any of these founders' weapons because they can't purchase an upgraded edition because that's no longer available. And after this last update, their friends can no longer get these weapons to them. So I think that's another reason a lot of people are upset. We can no longer do giveaways on Discord, which we used to do to help out newer players. I can't gift good weapons to people when I want to help them out with the Mythic Storm King. I used to also have a lot of people gift me their rare weapons that have like double elements on them because they wanted me to test them out and review them, but that's no longer possible after this week's update. So yeah, those are just a few reasons why a lot of people are unhappy with the changes that Epic made. Speaking of which, if they were going to make these changes, they should have did this years ago, like 6 or 7 years ago. Being able to help friends by gifting them resources or weapons has been in the game so long, it feels like it's pretty much a part of the game. People have gotten accustomed to it, and taking that feature away after having it for so many years feels wrong. Another suggestion I would recommend is if you can't put item sharing in regular missions, which I would totally be okay with, at least give us the option to do it in private missions or in our SSDs. Or if you want, you can make like a new location that's sort of a hub that has either kiosk or little machines that allow you to trade materials and resources. I feel like there needs to be a way we can do that. But yeah, like I said, we're going to read the comments from the video I uploaded because I want to let Epic know how the community really feels about this item sharing update. Also, big shout out to everybody who left a comment on that video and leaving feedback and letting them know how you feel, because if we're ever going to get the changes that we want, you gotta let Epic know. So I appreciate y'all leaving comments. We're going to go through and try to read as many of them as we can, and hopefully somebody at Epic sees this, because I do feel like this is an issue that needs to be addressed. If you didn't leave a comment in the previous video, be sure to let us know what you think in the comments below. Also, be sure to like the video, share the video. If you know anybody who works at Epic, send them a link to this video, because I'm about to tell them exactly how the community feels about this item sharing update. And look, we almost got 250 comments on this one video, so I may not be able to read all of these, but I'm going to read as many as I can. So this one says, instead of taking action on dupers, they just disable item dropping. They are really lazy. A big part of this game is being able to share and try out new and fun weapons with your friends. I understand why they decided to implement the no item sharing thing, but this change is definitely going to kill the game for some people. I really hope they consider and add item sharing to at least SSDs, because at least then you have to make the active decision to join the SSD to drop or get items. Founders weapons are now impossible to get for people who don't have the schematics. Wow, this is a huge change for them to make. I wonder why and why now. Maybe to stop the dupe traps, weapons and resources from being so easily shared and spread. I mean, it's a great addition to help keep the game clean, but could be hurtful to be able to share with friends and helping one another. I'm so sad about this. I have friends that I've been trying to get back into Save the World, so I would drop them my Nocturno or my fully upgraded traps to help them out. Now I probably won't be able to get them to play again due to this. I think this is a really dumb change. I wish they'd leave Save the World alone. They don't bother updating it, so keep it the way it is. And game missions don't need to drop weapons, but yeah, I 100% agree that an SSD needs it in case you're about to fail and need help. Or make it so only people in the friends list can pick it up. If they don't change this, I'll be leaving the game forever. Another thing nobody asked for, but Twine Story and zones still don't exist. Speaking of which, I really wish Epic would devote more time towards adding things to the game that players want. Like, I would prefer if they spent developer hours on adding new events or new enemy types or new mission types. But instead, most of our updates are just bug fixes and bug additions and taking away features from the game that people found useful. Anyways, next comment says, my only problem is if you and a friend are playing mid-mission, they run out of something and you got stacks of that item but can't give it to them because of this update. Rest in peace, match sharing. My issue is expensive to craft rockets, high-end weapons and traps, especially in the 160s or high twine. I go through rocket launchers and xenon bows like nobody's business. It's a bit hard to get large amounts of Bright Core Sunbeam Coal batteries. They should make these materials easy to farm now, or at least increase the number you get from sources and twine peaks. Instead of getting one piece of coal or one battery, we should at least get 4 or 5 from each source. Some of these crafting materials are just too hard to come by, especially Bright Core and Sunbeam. This does kind of suck for people who want Founders weapons, but this will fix the problem of getting 130s when you are like level 10. That's another thing they could do. Like if you're below a certain level, just prevent them from picking up high power level weapons or resources and materials. I think that's another thing they could do. That's really dumb, to be honest. You need to trade in this game, especially early game when you don't have good farming builds. Instead of implementing some sort of trading system, they just remove it. It's kind of weird. About 8 years too late. I agree, Raven. I feel like if they were going to make these changes, they should have did this years ago. This is probably the worst change they could have made. Trading is literally what made Save the World known in the mainstream. Sharing your materials and weapons is one of the most important aspects of the game, whether with friends or strangers. Removing this feature is just another blow to the game that's already dead. I'm hoping the whole sharing loot things is fixed to where only people in Twine can do it, because in some cases it's needed. This also means that the Founders weapons are no longer able to be shared with one another. So Epic better find a way to allow us to share weapons and items, or bring back the Founders pack soon with the weapons. I don't think they realize how much of their player count are people trading. They just murked the trading community. For every good step that Epic takes in Save the World, they take 8 steps back, like holy shoot. The Crescent Kick change is great, but this, my god, it's like stripping a core value of what makes Save the World appealing. I guess this means we can't craft movement speed barons for your team. Gonna be a lot of people that have to get that schematic. So you're saying if you have a gun and I want to give it to my friend for free, I can't do that anymore? It should make it that you can give your stuff to friends only. I got a second account to store my items in it. I won't be able to get them now. Again, you should be able to get items by inviting that alt account to your SSD and having them build and craft traps there. And you'll have to give them permission, then make your alt account leave and destroy those items. You should be able to get them that way. But yes, for weapons, yeah, you can't get any of the weapons from your alt account after this update. Trading posts with escrow. Make with a trap or map interaction. Trade doesn't occur until both parties confirm listed trade. Would also log for duping abuse. This is the nail in the coffin for Save the World. I hope they add repairing, because this makes it impossible to get items that you don't have the schematics of. This killed Rocket League once they did it. Now they have put the death mark on Save the World. Yikes. They waited too long to implement it. That's really tragic. I always gave Founders weapons to lower levels. They simply do not get it. They never did. I always thought it would make sense if they just allow people to pick up items that match their zone's max level. I swear Epic is trying to kill Save the World. I feel like this is a bit dumb, because now I can't drop any items to my friend because me and him give gun swords to each other. Epic is remedial. They should realize people pay money for these games. They need to quit putting burdens on everything. They should implement a machine where 2 players can put items in and see what item it is and how much durability it has. That's why they keep losing players, because they make stupid decisions. Remove trading from Rocket League, remove trading from Save the World. I think Epic Games hates trading. I'm happy there won't be scammer get scam type stuff, but sharing is also caring. This kind of kills the ability to be nice and help others out. If they are doing this, then why not make expeditions give 5-star materials? This, along with maybe adding some heroes that are actually useful. This is the dumbest thing ever. So my loot is gone from my alt account. I have a lot of materials on my second account. They just want people to leave the game so bad, but can't do anything about people enjoying Save the World, so they are starting to take it apart. And not everybody thinks this is a bad update, by the way. This guy said, I think this change related to drops is a huge W. It incentivizes farming together to get materials. It also motivates players to level their own schematics. But on the downside, you can no longer drop blue glow. So if you wanted to start a 4 Atlas mission, one player has to collect 4 blue glows to start the mission instead of being able to split up the task. End of an era. Honestly, this is such a lame move by Epic. Instead of actually improving Save the World, they are making it worse. The whole Save the World community doesn't like the new no sharing anything feature, but since we're not the big baby BR players, they won't revert it or even listen to what we have to say. Well, Jensen, that's why we're making this video, and hopefully you guys are sharing the video and leaving a like, because I feel like that'll increase the chances of Epic seeing how you guys feel about it. The change with the items are honestly horrible. I think it's dumb, honestly, because I love to help others out with Founders weapons or trade for needed materials with friends. I agree with the Storm Shield weapon drop 100%. Hopefully in private parties, or if you are friends, you can drop them in the future. That's one of the goals of doing this video, Eric, is to get Epic to add a feature similar to this. We'll add the option to make trades with people on your party, like when you add someone to play with you. Also an option to drop only in-game items such as blue glow, coconuts, stinky grenades, and cannonballs. The item sharing is good and bad, in my opinion. They should allow sharing in SSDs and endurance, but scale it to levels. Item sharing should definitely be allowed in SSD. Not into this change, to be honest. Now I can't share my badass weapons randomly with people in my lobbies for actually helping with the objective. We said they couldn't kill a dead horse and Epic said, hold my beer. Batteries were already hard to get, now I can't even ask someone to give me some to craft traps and energy cells. Game's finished now. This is just gonna kill the mode. What the fuck? Maybe this was done to kill Save the World altogether. Sucks for people that did giveaways as well. It's crazy that they do nothing helpful for Save the World but add this. I kinda hate the drops ban. I love giving my friends Nocturnos and other Founders weapons that can't be attained anymore. Screw this game. Borderlands 4 comes out Friday. Hope to see you there, everyone. They'll get rid of it, like it or not. These people make up 40% of the player base. Let them spam. Makes public games easier. We all don't have a god squad like streamers do.
Huh?
I leveled 144 different traps and different weapons in my 2 accounts so I can get my own traps and weapons without having to trade or ask people to give me. Now I don't know what to do. Save the World has been really disappointing as a founder. Wish they could implement a trading system. I think it's due to the dupe glitches. Just add a trading system, it's easy to make and hurts nobody. Literally they only do this so they can shut down Save the World because they don't want people playing it anymore. Making in-game trading like Diablo 4, you won't get scammed because you can see the item before you accept confirmed. Best thing for trading. Bro, but why? What I think about the item sharing? Bad. Not for me though, but it's like you said, like what if I want to give something to a friend or even help out a random low level? But yeah, it's whatever, just seems to me like they needed an excuse. Can't fix the dupe glitches, just prevent item sharing. Fixed. Like they care about the game and how people play. They barely even update the game. Never playing Save the World again, power level 107. This is a bad update. Being able to trade is what gives an item perceived value. I get there's issues with scam trading, and it was maybe done due to the amount of tickets raised over it or something. But buying the cool packs was kind of done because you could share to friends. So instead of giving us something useful or fun, they just removed more features from the game. Man, they were really trying to kill Save the World. I dislike it. Instead of trying to deal with the problem itself, they just do this cookie cutter solution. It just feels like laziness. But I agree with your idea of having it be possible with it being in SSDs. This is such a dumbass change. Like, why now after all these years of doing nothing? Oh, that sucks. Anyway, Save the World has been doo-doo for a whole now. Wait, what? This seems like a lazy decision making. Like there wasn't real effort and thinking into the process of this decision, if you ask me. Doing anything to save the world except adding new content. Man, my Nocturno is gonna be only available to me now? I got all traps and every weapon schematic maxed out just for randoms. This is a huge loss. This is just blatantly trying to kill Save the World. It's so utterly pathetic how this is a lazy solution to an easily solvable problem. I don't like this personally. Have a friend big into Save the World. He started second account. He's already maxed out, but still love giving him stuff he can't access anymore. This actually sucks. And we found another person who likes it. Personally, I love this change. I would bet anything the main reason Epic made this change is to combat dupers. It is the nuclear option that leaves dupers in shambles. No more dropping stacks of duped traps and mats to people. preventing scamming is just a cherry on top. This is such a lazy attempt to fix the issue the game has. Entirely removing it was not the right call. But I guess they won't have to worry about dupers and scammers anymore. I understand people just staying in Stonewood, not doing much, but if they cared so much, they should have done this 5-6 years ago when the game was at its prime. Doing it now just looks like they're trying to get people off Save the World. Trading was one of the few aspects keeping the game alive. So dumb, so bad, the grind would be real slow now. Another person said revolt. So yeah, I think that pretty much sums up how people feel about this new item sharing update. Out of those 250 comments, there were about 4 or 5 of them that actually liked the item sharing modifier, but majority of them do not like it. And it's for a lot of different reasons, but a lot of people are unhappy with the changes you made when it comes to sharing items and Save the World. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I wanted to go over. I just wanted to let Epic Games know how the community feels about this most recent update. If you didn't comment on the last video, be sure to let us know how you feel about it in the comments below. And again, be sure to like the video, share the video. If you know anybody who works at Epic, send this video to them. That way, hopefully we can let them know how we feel about it and maybe get some changes that we want. Anyways, if y'all like to support the channel, don't forget to use creator code A1. And I also wanted to give a shout out to our YouTube members. Anyways, I hope you have a wonderful day. And thanks for watching.
Been a go, but it's some stuff I won't let her do. If I get to shooting this RPG, I need props like a stepper. Let's do it. They tried to get me with spike traps, they know I'm like that, smooth like a criminal. If they try to bite, I'ma bite back, man. I just swipe that, I need residuals.